I've been using Humble Bundle for over 10 years now. Sometimes it's felt like the absolute best deal in gaming, but recently, it's been getting a lot of criticism. There's been price increases, weaker bundles, and more competition. So today, let's find out, is Humble Bundle still worth it in 2025? So if you're not familiar with them, Humble Bundle started as a website for pay what you want, charity-focused game bundles. They opened up shop in 2010 to some massive success early on. We can use the Wayback Machine to go back to Christmas Day in 2010, and we can see that they had already received nearly $1.7 million across 223,000 purchases. This indie bundle number 2 looks like it popped off. Probably thanks to Humble Bundle letting people set their own price on what would normally cost $85. Just to put that into perspective, $85 from 2010 would be about $125.30 today. Lots of the same features from back then are still on the website today, notably the leaderboards seen here on every bundle page. You're automatically opted out of being on the leaderboard, but you can opt in during the checkout process. I checked a couple bundles and it doesn't seem like many people use it for advertising purposes like it used to be, as seen with the Wayback Machine in 2010 here. The key feature still seen today is the option to choose how to split the money towards a charity, the game developers, and Humble Bundle. But now, beyond just revolving game bundles, it's grown into a store and a monthly game bundle service, all centered around a subscription called Humble Choice. Humble Choice is either a monthly or annual subscription you pay for. Right now for me in Canada, it's $195 per year or $18 per month. I've subscribed to Humble Choice on and off since 2014, and I've also bought several individual bundles and games. Some of my favorite pickups were actually from Humble Choice bundles like Risk of Rain 2 and Remnant 2, and even way back, I remember getting games like Overcooked and Rise of the Tomb Raider. Back then, the value felt incredible, possibly because it was such a novel idea at the time, but even from the store, I've bought a fair share of things for a good deal in my opinion. Recently, I got Just Cause 3 for $3 Canadian, and For the King 2 for $13. Not too bad, right? I was about to buy For the King 2 for $33, but thought I'd check with Humble Bundle first. I like it because it does actually have deals on things that beat out other platforms, even Epic Games with their epic deals. And for brand new releases, it's great too. When Monster Hunter Wilds came out, it was $90 on Steam and Humble Bundle, but since I had 20% loyalty rewards for my subscription, I could get it for $72. Even now, the Humble store is doing a deal for 20% off to $72, but with my Choice subscription, I get a further 20% off to $58. My only gripe with the store is that I wish it had user reviews on the game pages, because I always have to Google in a separate tab or go to my Steam window to browse the game reviews, which I don't think is the end of the world, but it could be improved. So what's changed in 2025? Earlier this year in April 2025, the monthly price for Humble Choice in Canada increased from $14.99 to $17.99. At least that's the price here in Canada. And that's a 20% increase, which is pretty significant. Some people speculate online that too many people have been taking advantage of the discounted annual plans in recent years, so this increase brings the average monthly price to a better value for Humble. Just a few weeks ago at the end of June 2025, the price of the annual Humble Choice increased again to $195, and the monthly increased to $18. And to make things worse, you don't really save much on the annual plan anymore, with it only being 10% cheaper than monthly. Oh, and just now making this video, I realized I missed out on using this code to buy another year for $139. But oh well, not even sure if this would work since my renewal is in December. But it's not just the price. Many longtime users say the games just aren't hitting like they used to. And I kind of agree. Sure, it seems like every once in a while we get a good game, like these Warhammer 40k ones are fine, I'm sure, but we haven't gotten any really killer games in a while. Last I remember is Remnant 2 in October 2024, Sifu in August, Plague Tale Requiem in July, and Risk of Rain 2 in June. Those were all pretty good months, I'll give it that, but that was a year ago now, and all these titles since then usually only have a couple thousand reviews max on Steam. Remnant 2 had over 40,000 reviews, and Risk of Rain 2 has over 210,000, so we're not getting really popular games like we used to, or at least it's been a while since we have. They'll have to turn it around in these next few months for me to be willing to subscribe at the new $195 annual price. And to make things worse, or at least more difficult, there's more competition in the online marketplace for games than ever before. Many sites like G2A, Kinguin, CD Keys, GOG Games, and a lot more. They make the landscape much more competitive for cheap game keys. Humble Bundle has an edge though from its time in the market and its overall value proposition. Don't you just feel like you're making a difference when you buy these games? Pat yourself on the back, you're kind of a hero. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm not the only one who's noticing these changes. I've been seeing a lot more comments on social media from others who are not happy with the games in the bundles, the price increases, and even more. But the most prevalent topic I've seen people unhappy about has been the situation with exhausted keys. So this problem is basically when you go to redeem your key, but a notification pops up saying the game keys are exhausted. I can understand why this sucks, right? Like imagine you buy a bundle and go to get the one game you really wanted, but the key was exhausted. And maybe you get lucky and it's just a couple days until you get it. But I've seen some people on Reddit even say that they've been waiting for years. I had this happen before and I must have just got lucky, but I didn't expect it to be a thing that takes ages to get through. I even found this one post where a guy redeemed 536 keys and had over 50 exhausted keys from that. A 10% ratio seems pretty bad, so just make sure to redeem your keys when you get them if you really want to help your chances. And then the community has been pretty vocal about the price increases for Humble Choice. I don't think it's too upsetting in itself. I mean, there's been so much inflation in the past couple of years that I expect the price of just about everything to go up. But with a 40% increase over the past year and a half for me, I feel like it's too much. A lot of people online are of the same opinion, like this guy's saying he won't be resubbing unless they do another good Black Friday deal, and this other person even did the math based on games he actually redeems, and he realizes that he isn't even saving money anymore. All these opinions seem to be pretty popular on Reddit. The community sentiment just isn't as strong lately for Humble Bundle. We've been in a drought for months now in 2025, with mediocre titles and even Origin keys instead of Steam. With any kind of service like this though, you can't expect every month to be a banger, but you would still hope for something decent every month or two. The individual game bundles are pretty good from time to time, but I have to keep my eyes out to catch them since they don't come with Humble Choice. I only learned recently too that you can skip a month if you don't like the games. Even if you have the annual membership, you can go to your membership settings and skip that month. The only thing to keep in mind is that you lose your membership benefits, so like my 20% off in the Humble store through Humble Choice, that would be gone. But if you have no streak anyways, or if you don't buy anything from Humble, then it doesn't really matter. So is Humble Bundle still worth it in 2025? Well, like many things in life, it depends. I still think the game and software bundles can be pretty great value. I pick up new ones from time to time. Here's the latest one I got yesterday actually. It has a bunch of rhythm games for just $13. See, I think the value for things like this is great, but sometimes you might already own some of the games. Like in this Upload VR bundle, for example, I think it's really good. A bunch of VR games for just 25 bucks, but I already own The Light Brigade, which is one of the bigger titles in the list, so I always have to weigh the value now if it's still worth it. Of course, you can always gift the extra keys to your friend though. I plan to keep using Humble Choice because I like getting exposed to these new games, and I have faith it's just been a dry season, and we'll get some bangers eventually. I also keep checking the bundles page for more cool programs to help with my content creation. The software bundles are really great. I've gotten some really awesome programs there that I use all the time. Like I'm using Vegas Pro right now to edit this video, and I also got a lifetime license for a bunch of royalty-free music. And while getting these specific programs I was interested in, there are still lots of other tools in the bundle like music production software, high-quality background images, and some other pieces of software or assets. I highly suggest Googling the name of the bundle and looking for discussion online about it, specifically looking for other people who have got the bundle in the past. These bundles come and go, they generally have the same things in them, but they may change a little bit from time to time. Like the one I got with the royalty-free music subscription actually had a lot of controversy online. I think the previous time they offered it, there was some problems with the lifetime license and what was licensed versus what wasn't. But for this most recent offering, the company was answering questions on Reddit and making it more clear for people buying the bundle. I even asked a question to clarify and he responded really quickly. Stuff like this makes me more confident in my choices. I always make sure to check online to see if there's any glaring issues or noteworthy opinions about the bundle. Normally we look at benchmarks or reviews with a gaming lens on this channel, but I thought I'd make a more video essay style here. If you're interested in benchmarks or reviews though, check out my latest video where we ran a PC emulator and more on my old phone, turning it into a full-fledged gaming PC.